Hello everyone, back again. I'm doing a car video. I'm going to be driving, so I'm just going to put on a video and listen to it. It's like, well, if I'm listening to it, might as well record it, try to upload it, try to get some uploads going tonight. And it's buffering, it's doing its thing like it wants to. Big shocker. This is Smack Talk 80 Part 7, Smarkoutmoment YouTube. It's going to be Extreme Rules 2013 Tag Team Championship predictions, of course, WWE related, wrestling related podcast. Looks like it's going to be Daniel Bryan and Kane versus Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins from 2013. When you look back on that, it's like, wow, things have changed. Things are very different in the last 10 years or whatever. Two of them are still in WWE, one's in AEW, and one's retired, so there you go. We got YouTube sucking it up with the ads. Shocker, shocker.
Tag Team Championship, actually Tornado Tag Team Championship match. The Shield against
much it
Team
will
Hell
record.
No.
I've
The
got
two
some long
Shield
videos here. Sometimes it'll
Seth
hold,
Rollins
sometimes
and
it
Roman
won't.
Reigns, which I thought was a little bit funny because Roman Reigns is always by himself.
Probably just kind of let it run.
Dean Ambrose, but that's all because Ambrose is the one who's in a better position to get a mid-card title on his own.
Quick question. Roman Reigns is on Team Jester, but he doesn't have Seth Rollins. Does that mean if they win, he gets half a point?
No, he would get the points for Roman Reigns.
Because Roman Reigns still won a match, regardless of it being in a tag team or not. So
I wasn't sure how that works out.
So that's split between Burhan and Jester, and Team Hell No. I have Daniel Bryan,
and Brandon Liggett has Kane.
So come on, Brandon, we need to figure out a way to make them win this match. Do it on behalf of Screw It Over Jester.
I was every other tag team title match that Team Hell No has been involved with up until this point. I have been completely unapologetically confident that they were going to retain the tag team titles because I said that they would hold them to eventually drop them to the Shield. This, I'm saying, is the night they will lose the tag team championships. For sure. I feel 100% that the Shield, beginning with this match, is going to do a clean sweep of gold and stand golden by the end of the night. They'll be a golden front by the end of Extreme Rules.
I completely agree. He's going to end up, Ambrose is going to win the United States title. It's giving a head party, but, and the Shield, like, every Shield member is going to walk away with gold.
No doubt in my mind.
Makes too much sense.
Anybody think that they're not?
I don't. I don't think the Shield needs gold. I think the Shield is better off without gold, and maybe it's time for them to get a few more losses, so it could be a humbling night for the Shield.
Not yet. I think they're on a roll right now as far as their popularity. I really do think if they don't give them the belts now, it's going to be a big misstep for them.
Why do they need the belts? What good are the belts going to do for them? Like, what is the U.S. title going to do for Dean Ambrose? What are the
that's
tag
property of the WWE in their hands.
It's a definitive point. You build a guy up all this time only to have him lose the big one. It really does set him back a lot. I've seen
There's
a lot of...
so far you can go with three-man matches as well. They need to start, as Tony put it before, they've got to start
individualizing
batting these guys out, and even though they can be involved in each other's matches, they need to make this look like they're legitimate. They're here, they're not going anywhere, and they're a threat. And the best way to do it is by giving them the titles, like not the main championships, but giving them a good mid-card title and giving them the tag team championships. So it means that they've got these people are now going to be sitting there. Right, the Shield's got all this power, they've got all this gold. What the hell's going to happen next?
Yeah.
So it gives them another story to sort of tell.
I just can't see the gold being any good for them. Before, the Shield wasn't about egos. It wasn't about having to go out and put a championship around your waist. It's all just completely separate from the direction that they were going.
Well,
no, because it's still they've been paid off Payton by Punk to do his bidding, and also now they've got the championships, which means they're making a statement, and they're making the same statement that they made previously in the WWE, which is we're fighting for justice. And now they've got the championships, they can say we've got that justice, we have that redemption, now we need to do more.
That doesn't make any sense. You just can't say the word justice and think that makes sense.
Well, to be fair, they never viewed Team Hell No as a legitimate
it is justice,
tag team either.
because they're guys, they're talking like guys who are being held down by the company. They believe that they were held down by the company. So you're telling me that anybody that goes...
When was the Shield held down by the company? They were put in main events.
Their characters.
When was that ever a story? When were they even said they were held by the company?
Hayden, when they first debuted, the Shield was actually talking about the fact that they were held down by the company. That was injustice, that the people on the roster getting title shots that shouldn't get them, right? The fact is, they're in place, they're a big heel stable, they are there to get these championships because it symbolises everything that they're fighting against. In their mind, anyway. I'm trying to put like some clarity to this because getting these titles is going to mean something for the Shield, and in terms of the wrestlers in general, it's going to mean something for them because once they get these championships, it solidifies their position within the company.
Oh yeah, just like the U.S. title did such good for the likes of Zack Ryder and Antonio Cesaro.
So you can't even compare Ryder to the Shield.
The Shield are way more over, way more threatening heels than Cesaro was in his entire United States title run. Zack Ryder only got pushed to the title while he was.
So what you're saying is,
dropped him like a rock.
What you're saying is the superstars are more important than the titles. So why do they need the titles?
Okay,
what's the title doing for them?
The thing is,
it brings the storyline in another direction entirely. It kind of presses things up a little bit.
You've got two types of wrestlers though, Hayden, right? You've got the guys that can get the titles over, or the ones that need the titles to get themselves over. The Shield are the former. They're the guys who are going to get the titles over. And they're needed to help build those divisions back up. Well, what do you want to do? Have like loads of more three-man matches for the rest of their careers?
Well, they haven't even been defeated in a three-man yet, so why move away from that?
Technically, they have by DQ, but if you don't want to count that, then they haven't been pinned.
Like I said, this title matchup is it's kind of an it's an endpoint of sorts. You know, they've been built up all this time, you know, to finally getting a chance to go up against the actual champions, you know, which are seen as the top of the class, and to have them lose really would negate a good portion of all the build-up that you did beforehand. You know, it's kind of like it makes them look weaker than they are, and a lot of guys that I've seen really have had a hard time rebuilding themselves. I think they need to keep the momentum going. They need to put the belts onto them and see where they go. If they flop after that, then you can take the belts off of them. If not, keep riding the wave.
Well, next part, we're going to kind of continue this going a little bit and talk United States Championship, Dean Ambrose and Kofi Kingston. Part 10, final part of episode 55 here at Smack Talk. We are talking about Survivor Series, so let's talk about the main event, the traditional elimination match, which has gone through a whole bunch of rewrites because they couldn't plan ahead of time, or they did plan this ahead of time and they're just absolutely dumb. Team Foley members right now are The Miz, who should have been Ryback, Kofi Kingston, Team Hell No, and Randy Orton against Team Ziggler, which should have been Team Punk, which has Dolph Ziggler, Wade Barrett, Team Rhodes Scholars, possibly, and Alberto Del Rio. I throw possibly out there because Cody Rhodes right now is apparently suffering from a shoulder injury and a concussion. Is that right?
Yeah, he has a strained shoulder and a concussion.
So
That's what happens from constant use.
He may be replaced by Tensai. He may be replaced by David Otunga. He may be replaced by...
just to add a little more credibility to the fucking team. Yeah.
That's right. Let's go.
Because, Ziggler has so many issues with Foley to build up to this huge, epic, traditional Survivor Series elimination tag match, right? Because, Foley was the person that, he was doing the whole scandal bit with Vicky. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Makes so much sense.
Foley and AJ, that perverted bastard.
I just don't get why they did this. I mean, if they were worried about not having a WWE Championship match, why book that on Raw in the first place? Or, you know what they have to do, though? This is what I threw out in that Bleacher Report article. I said, what you have to do, then, to give this some kind of credibility, make sure that Paul Heyman comes out and represents Team Ziggler. Maybe you can spin this into Foley against Heyman. As like...
We should have been doing that on TV.
Right, as like a representative of Team Punk, and then you can carry that thread. But if you just have Ziggler go out there...
ties completely, and it makes no sense.
Why not do Team John Cena against Team Ziggler?
It should be cheap. John Cena against Team Tony Magnum.
I would win.
I know. You always win.
Yeah, it should be decent, but it's just completely confuzzled to fuck, you know, and that kind of ruins it, I guess, for everybody because there's no commitment.
The only
It's
person
never at all.
It's paid by numbers booking. What they're doing is they're basically booking the match, and then they went, you know what, we're crapping ourselves because we haven't got a WWE title match on the pay-per-view, and then put the title match in. They don't need it. As I said this before, they had, you know, they used to do the Survivor Series matches for the Survivor Series pay-per-views before, with the, you know, the Mega Maniacs, the Money Inc. and stuff like that. They don't need.
And they headline these shows, you know, like it's not fucking.
and they were awesome.
Yeah.
It was a special attraction. The problem is, the reason why the pay-per-view is not making the amount of money that it was, because it's not a special attraction anymore. They had Survivor Series, and then they had the Raw versus SmackDown pay-per-view bragging rights.
I love bragging rights. And they had it too close together, though. That's one.
Yeah, it was a Survivor Series pay-per-view. It was the same to run a pay-per-view. They could have had a bragging rights thing at Survivor Series instead. The biggest problem is because they've oversaturated these types of pay-per-views, gimmick pay-per-views, people look at Survivor Series like, okay, it's just another gimmick pay-per-view. And that's what you don't want.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be building it that way either, just because that's how people see it. I mean, they could have put a lot of commitment and effort behind this, but they fucking didn't. They're treating it like it's Hell in a Cell or some shit.
Yeah,
No.
they should have been promoting the Survivor Series pay-per-view. Like, oh, you know, the final survivors always go on to do great things, like The Rock when he was the sole survivor of his team, or when Kevin Nash was the sole survivor of his team. That puts over the importance of being like the surviving team members of your Survivor Series team. Hell, Benoit and John Cena, when they were the sole survivors of their Survivor Series team against Brock Lesnar's team of fucking freaks, yeah, how important was that? It made you sit there and go, wow, you know?
These are the guys, you know?
Yeah, these are the WWE's top stars. These guys are going to be WWE's biggest stars in the company.
And you know how this is going to end up? This is going to be Team Hell No argues with each other, so somebody gets a quick roll-up and eliminates Kane or something like that.
It's going to be a shaking my head. It's going to be you sitting there going, why?
Randy Orton getting an RKO on like Del Rio or something like that and eliminating him, Del Rio causing some kind of a distraction, so Wade Barrett knocks out Randy Orton, like that kind of stuff. I mean, not necessarily those exact eliminations, but it's gonna happen.
Who's your pick of the sole survivors?
The Miz.
Right?
I would say Ziggler from his team and Miz from Team Foley.
I think it's going to come down to Miz being the one who wins the match for Team Foley. Whether or not that means that it'll translate to Miz getting a title shot against CM Punk or not at TLC, I don't exactly know. But I do think that Miz actually is going to stay babyface, and that this is going to be that big transition thing. Now, it could be that he screws Team Foley, and he's been like this.
Strikes the man, you know.
Yeah, the Trojan horse the entire time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that they...
Character-wise, it's better to go with him being a full-on babyface because he's done just about everything there is as a heel, and it's time to start fresh.
And they need
Yeah.
more baby faces right now.
Absolutely.
Especially if they want Randy Orton to turn heel.
Which they could do that here too.
They could. They
You
could
know,
very well move
you
on.
can have him,
Orton
you know,
and
for
Miz.
no reason, RKO Miz at the end, and then Ziggler picks the scraps and wins.
Right.
You know, my issue with the whole Miz face turn is they're doing
What?
it too quickly.
Everything's done too quickly, though. You know, look at Ryback's push.
Yep, very, very true.
You know,
I think
so
there's a possibility that they could slow burn it a little bit more, though. Not necessarily like he turns babyface in this, and then he starts getting cheered, and then he's tagging up with John Cena and everybody, like. But I could see them doing it where Miz wins, and Foley's just kind of like, oh shit, like, thanks. You know, like,
Yeah.
uh-oh, like, what, the fucking Miz won the match for me? Okay, and, like, I'm very weary about it. And then I could see them doing the obligatory, Ryback and Miz and John Cena tag up the next night on Raw against Ziggler and CM Punk and some other person, maybe Del Rio or something like that. And then they kind of move on and feud some different people, and they don't really trust the Miz to be on their team, but well, you'll trust Ryback over me, and like kind of like play it out a little bit more. And then by the time WrestleMania comes along, they give him a solid feud with somebody like a Dolph Ziggler or whatever, or maybe Del Rio.
Where he's like the clear-cut face of the feud.
Right.
You know.
Kind of like when, like around this time period is when they did the Daniel Bryan heel turn. And then by the time WrestleMania came, he was a solid heel. But in the meantime, they were kind of, he was a little bit of a tweener, and people were cheering him, even though he was doing the bad stuff. And then it became obvious that he was the heel, and then...
And Punk's turn, when he turned face for a bit around the fall last year, he wasn't a clear-cut face, you know, for a few months into that run.
Yeah, that's because he was pointing a finger at everybody about, you know, them buying the tickets and stuff like that, and then paying into this crap. Yeah, no, I agree.
So I think that Miz is going to be the real focal point out of this whole thing. Either he turns babyface or he stays heel. Either one, it's going to be, this whole match depends on the Miz. It certainly doesn't depend on Team Punk and Team Foley feuding with each other.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that Paul Heyman is some kind of a presence in the match.
For whatever reason, I still see Team Ziggler actually winning the match. Though.
And you think Ziggler's going to be the sole survivor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking Ziggler loses, and then that's when he gets his, not necessarily like, boost back up, but if he drops this match and it's not the main event, then he can screw John Cena out of it. Out of that, and then it's, well, we kind of forgot that Ziggler just lost, and now he's,
shit, he's going after Cena again.
Or they have Cena screw Ziggler, and then Ziggler screws Cena.
Yeah, they could even do that. Have AJ come out and cost a match for Dolph Ziggler, and then Ziggler come out and cost a match for Cena, or something like that. Definitely possibility. I don't think that there's any chance that like a Kofi Kingston is going to make a big impact in this match, or even Wade Barrett. But I do
that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I do see Damian Sandow getting an elimination. I do think that Dolph Ziggler is going to get at least one elimination, and I think that it's mostly going to be Miz and Orton on Team Foley. So I don't really know the elimination method, because it's kind of hard to predict that. Sometimes they follow a very standard you know, Orton and Del Rio have been feuding, so they might knock each other out, kind of a thing. And, sometimes they do that, and sometimes they go fucking ass backwards, and it's like Kane will get eliminated because Wade Barrett will knock out Daniel Bryan. Like, it just, this shit doesn't make any sense, but...
Let's just hope they don't change the card on the pre-show. Again.
They can change the pre-show in under 24 hours, so...
I'm saying they'll change the entire card during the pre-show. That'd be hilarious.
It's no longer
change the entire card while it's actually on the air.
Yeah.
This is now King of the Ring.
It's now Elimination Chamber again.
Yeah, we decided to boost it up from Elimination Match to Elimination Chamber Match.
For the entire pay-per-view.
Right, every match, even the Divas one.
Every match in the cage. Every match.
So yeah, it's a Survivor Series.
Match.
So that's what we're looking
changing card.
When it comes to Survivor Series, we're looking for a very convoluted storyline. We're looking for.
Do you think Vince and Co have ADHD or something like that?
Oh yeah. Probably.
At least one of them has to.
Yeah.
But
just saying.
Yeah,
I think it's more so just arrogance that nobody will care.
Aren't we, guys?
Yeah,
well, I have to say, ladies and gents, if you've got a problem with what we're saying, tell us, explain to us why. If not, shut your fucking mouths. Because as far as I'm concerned, if any of you can book a better pay-per-view and you boys probably can, fucking book it. WWE brass, listen, we've got 3 capable guys here that can book a pay-per-view for you. If you don't want to try, if you just want to sit there and listen to Vince McMahon go on about how amazing it would be to have a Ryback as the WWE champion, then you all need your fucking heads examined.
Yeah.
Seriously. Triple H needs to stop focusing on the tag division and start focusing on the whole card.
Although improving the tag division, I think, is a nice gesture.
No, but he can improve the tag division while he's improving the whole card.
Yeah, but Vince still has final say. If he loves Ryback so much, he just wants a main eventing all the time, it's gonna happen.
And then you should have Ryback topless in his bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. I totally don't like either.
Ryback, and we want to get him on his back.
Yeah.
Put him up.
Give me that Katie Vick doll.
The casket too, right?
That should cover all the Survivor Series talk for this week. Next week, of course, we will talk about the review and all the results. Genetic jackhammer, new finisher. Starting to the Goldberg chance again.
Home and have sex with my wife to have a baby. That actually happened, people.
Next week we'll do the best championship, or best champion tournament, of course, and the hot tags, the Ask Him, and all the Survivor Series review. And anything else that comes along our way, which brings us, of course, to the plugs. Sign Me Up initiative, of course, as always. If you bring a Smarkoutmoment sign to any kind of a wrestling event, pay-per-views of any kind of company, or I don't know, local gatherings of wrestling, signings of autographs and all that kind of stuff.
Outside the whole house with Smarkoutmoment sign.
Any kind of Smarkoutmoment sign like that, you take a picture or a video of it, I'll put you up on the website, give you a thank you.
We're abreast of friends with Smarkoutmoment.
That would be even better. I'll put you up twice then. Gotta balance it out.
Tony's troops.
Make sure you guys check out the first Fanboys Anonymous roundtable discussion if you are a giant James Bond fan and you went to see Skyfall.
See, I thought you were going to say giant douche, but...
If you're a giant douche, go check it out. Yeah, fuck you, pal, if you want to go see this. But yeah, if you're a fan of Skyfall and everything, check that out. Obviously, all of my links always have links to everything else, and you can always follow all the Twitter accounts and the Facebook accounts and all that kind of stuff.
He has links to his links to his links to his links to his links.
I quite literally do.
He even owns an Atari links. That's how big Tony is on links.
So that's it for my stuff. Everybody knows my crap. I plug it constantly. So throw your guys, all your stuff out there that everybody...
I plugged mine 3,000 times. I'm Spoon Beast. I'm on YouTube. Do gaming vids. Yeah. It's been plugged like 1,000 times. Mike, we have even more stuff to plug, so go right ahead.
You know, I didn't get the title shot. I did get the title.
I'm gonna plug Caitlin's terrible promo from backstage follow.
Check out my very last I've Got gameplay for November. I'll be back in December 23rd. Nick, Sean, and Braden will be taking the reins after that. After I'm gone, this is my very last Smarkout moment, Smack Talk. Today until I return on the 23rd of December as well. I'm going off to do Panto in Scotland.
We'll see him next week.
Yeah. And I just want to say, like, you know, if I don't return from Scotland, because I might like the place, thank you to everybody for the support. Thank you for the support from their genius. It's growing loads by leaps and bounds. Literally, the site started at not even getting like 200 to 300 hits a day. Now it's getting something like nearly about 2,000 hits a month. You know, I'm really, really happy. And it's all thanks to you guys out there for looking at my blogs, you know, reading what I had to say. Thanks to Tony Mango as well for taking time to actually work on the blog with me and sharing some of his ideas and bits and pieces. Support fanboysanonymous.com. I'm going to be contributing to that as soon as I get back, and as soon as Google gives me my fucking AdSense code.
Never happened.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Google.
Support I Got Gameplay, because the podcast is amazing and we have some very interesting things to say. Episode 5, if you haven't watched it, is, or if you haven't listened to it, should I say, myself, Braden, Sean, Nick, and special guest Tony Mango talk about wrestling games and what went wrong. This week's show, I don't actually know what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to have a word with our co-hosts and find that out for you. It's going to be a nice little crapshoot for the final show of the Michael Bernhard tenure for a month.
I think actually one of the potential topics is whether or not kids today don't appreciate games the way that they should.
There we go.
It might be. I don't know for sure. Don't hold me to that.
Hold me to it.
And their oversaturation of like Call of Duty and FPS that comes along with that.
Right. Yeah.
Unfortunate fact.
And www.youtube.com/TheNerdGenius. You can also check out my previous films and bits and pieces on my Facebook profile /Michael Burhan. I'm everywhere. Literally, you type my name in Google. There's they cover everything that's about me. Just keep supporting Smack Talk, keep supporting good wrestling. And if you guys, you know what, if you literally do have a problem with today's product, let your voice be heard. Don't let them get away with shit, because this is what the product's turned into the last couple of months. A big pile of shit. And it shouldn't do with someone like CM Punk as world champion and someone like Austin Aries as your TNA champion. So, just keep, watching the skis.
Good Simpsons reference.
There you go.
Eventually, we're going to end off this year with the Best and Worst Awards. So, very soon, I will be posting up a little bit of a guideline for everybody. I'm working right now on letting you guys know exactly which segments have the Did You Know and the outros, like a list of that kind of stuff. Make it a little easier for you guys.
Best guest host, Michael Burhan. Fresh in your minds, people. Don't fuck Braden. Michael Burhan. Hey, you know what? Fuck Tony. If you want me as the host of Smacks,
He's invading. He's trying to take over.
Send a position. Say fuck Tony Mango. I Got Gameplay's a lot better.
And call all your mamas.
What was that about if you never come back from Scotland?
Tony's gonna send a hit out on me. See?
Shh. Don't spoil it.
He's gonna send some like big African American dude who calls himself Black Lightning.
Karma? Terrible. Pay attention for the Best and Worst Awards. That is going to eventually be coming up very soon, sooner than we actually think, because it's going to start around first. Again, that is it for episode 55. Thank you again. I'm repeating myself, but I want to make sure that I get that out there. This has been yet another Smarkout moment, and we are being counted out. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
He's the king of the beast. He's got blockers to dick. He's Tony Mango. Outro. He's Tony Mango. Outro. He's the king of the beast.
What?
Yeah. Outro. He's Tony Mango. Outro. He is the king. Mango. Seriously.
It only takes 1 second.
How did you get that high of a voice?
Jason Curtis liked my picture. He doesn't give out likes, he only gets them. It's crazy how obsessed you are with him. He's already on the other bus. He gets up early in the morning, eats 6 raw eggs, and works out. Jason Curtis is on this bus! Well, maybe you'll find the rest of your shirt on the other bus!
Let's rock the house, man!
We're like 2 girls in a coming-of-age story. If you're not willing to change yourself completely for a guy, I don't even know if it's love. Right?
Sounds like the dumbest show I've ever heard of, and I don't even know what it is, thankfully.
Part 11 of WrestleMania 32 predictions. Chris Jericho is going to face AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
There's one random person clicking on this that's never listened to SmackDown before, and they're like, the fuck's wrong with everybody? Why can't they just say Styles? What's with the whole...
I'm assuming it's a New Japan
So,
reference.
we've had a couple matches between these two. Jericho won one of them, I think. Only one of them, right? Styles won the rubber match. And, they kind of just decided to do the match again. Whatever. Match will be cool. Styles is going to win.
You better fucking win. There's no reason for that saggy skin cunt to have it.
We might still be bittering that he lost that match to Fandango at Mania, so maybe this is going to be make up for it.
Man, poor Fandango.
If Chris Jericho wins, I'm going to be one of those people that call him a cunt on Twitter. Kayfabe's real when it comes to AJ Styles.
Well, really, does any of us really think Jericho has a shot?
No, but it doesn't matter who wins here. Well, I mean, it matters that AJ Styles wins, but what I'm saying is, it's not important that we care. We know who wins, I guess is the better way to say it.
Yeah.
It's more about getting to that win. That's going to be cool to see.
I'd like to see Chris Jericho win.
This is the type of match that this really could have been I'm excited for this. This is actually one of the matches I think is going to be one of the better ones of the night. But man, it's missing something that could have made it holy fuck, am I excited?
Wait, wasn't it you that fucking was like, oh, they're doing it early, now they're blowing it off? I don't want to see again at Mania.
Yeah, that's what bugs me about it. We've seen it a bunch. If this was the first time that they were facing off, I'd be even more into it.
I love this. This is a new dynamic. It's heel Chris Jericho now. They built up to it. I think it needed some fire under it.
And plus, with those were tastes of what we're going to see. They've improved every single match, and as long as every match is a different story, which out of all people on this card, trust these two guys to go out there and create a unique story. And I don't know if what you mean by this that this needs some kind of stipulation.
Oh, no,
I would
no,
hate
not
this
that.
match if it had a stipulation to it.
Definitely not that. A lot of people are saying this should be last man standing or something. No way.
No, these guys should go out there and have a wrestling match.
Exactly.
All right, this should be that Ring of Honor classic that everyone wants to see.
The way that I would kind of put this is, I would have rather had seen, maybe if they would have faced for the first time at Fastlane, and then had their second match at Roadblock, and this was the rubber match. That I'd be a little bit more into. But definitely no, this should be a cage match, or this should be, that stuff would just get in the way. These two are better just wrestling each other.
Yeah. I mean, what's the difference, really? I think you're just getting too attached to having that beautiful number of 3. It's the same story.
Basically, it is.
And honestly, if you watch boxing, they have, the same guys fight 4 or 5 times sometimes.
I don't watch boxing.
You shouldn't. It's a terrible sport.
Yeah, don't recommend boxing to anybody. What the
Yeah, that's not going to help out the case of it.
Okay, sometimes in MMA it happens.
I don't watch MMA.
Fuck you.
I watch the 4-second replays on YouTube that are posted of how somebody gets knocked out, and that's it.
They're pretty fucking sweet knockouts, aren't they?
Sometimes it's just some dude laying down on top of another dude, and then the referee goes, "No, that's it. Nah, the end of the match."
Yeah, I've heard so many referees go, yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how Big John starts off his book.
Just end of the match. Yeah.
So what's your, Big John, to any upcoming referees, what would you recommend? Well, you gotta be able to enforce yourself. You see, when I'm in a fight, it's like,
I like to start my fight going, are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, let's get it
Yeah,
done.
let's get started. Remember, no hitting below the belt. Alright? No hitting. So, Styles and Jericho, they have had a couple matches before. Peyton mentioned before that they've been kind of up in their game and changing it up a little bit here. We got a healed Chris Jericho, so he's going to be a little bit more brutal in this match, I would assume, than what we've seen before. One thing I'm curious about, I want to get your guys' opinions about this. How should the match end? Because Styles, we're all on board, Styles is going to win it. But he's been going back and forth between a couple of different finishers, and now he's using the phenomenal forearm quite a bit. Not really using the Styles Clash, not even using the, what's the cattle prod or the cattle...
I got it. You should bust out what he did for Bound for Glory after 7 fucking years. Spiral Tap.
What move is that?
It jumps off the rope and he spins a lot and lands on you.
Basically,
Didn't he
Phoenix
have like a
Splash, right?
450 or something that he did a lot? Is that it?
No, that was he used to do a springboard 450 and it was kind of meh. And then he botched it at Bat for Glory and had to turn it into a splash on Stink. But the spiral tap, he flips like a senton and spins his body around where he lands. If I remember right. It's very complicated.
Like a better version of Starship Pain.
No, Starship Pain's backwards.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That move sucks so bad. I don't know why Morrison did that.
It would have, like...
He still does it.
He still does it in Lucha Underground?
Yeah, here's the thing, like, Rob Van Dam used to use a split-legged moonsault as a finisher before he used the 5-star frog splash, and he said it just looked dumb, it had no velocity.
It looks cool.
It looks cool for, like, just a move to have in, like, the match at some point, but as a finisher, nah.
Okay, even Rob Van Dam's like, dude, that's pretty fucking lame.
Well, I mean, when eventually he moved to the point where he's fucking doing all these, like, cannonball rolls and coast-to-coast jumps and all the crazy shit they do, that it's not as impressive, man. But when you think, like, when he first started doing that in, like, 1993, think of how, like, mind-blowing seeing that move must have been.
Yeah.
Shrug. I'm hoping this doesn't end with a forearm, though.
No, I mean, a new move would be cool. I wouldn't be surprised maybe if he took him down with, like, Walls of Jericho.
Ooh, that'd be kind of interesting.
Top rope, botched, Styles Clash.
Specifically a botched, like he goes for a botched one. Jericho, you all nice and tight and snug up there? Yeah, okay. You ready for the for the move? Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna twist real quick.
Chris, took your hand. I thought we're not meant to do that. No, trust me.
No, I was talking to Yoshi. He said it was so much better this way. I'm hoping Styles Clash ends this. But I'm not putting a lot of
way
faith
or
in it.
another.
What's the name of his submission move? I can't remember. It's Cattle something, right?
No, Calf Crusher.
Calf Crusher.
Yeah, Cattle was Daniel Bryan's.
Cattle Mutilation.
Oh, yeah, I'm mixing those up. AJ Styles, next Daniel Bryan.
What's all this cow abuse? Time Cow is offended.
There was something that was about a tow truck that somebody mentioned the other day. I can't remember what it was now, but something that threw me off about it.
Yeah, something about a tow truck.
Yeah, tow trucks. I don't know why they turned it into Drew, but true. How should Styles beat Jericho? Or, if you want to try to make the case for Jericho winning, how should that go down?
I'm not gonna make a case for Jericho winning just because Wago's a prick and he'll eat me alive. So with AJ Styles winning, he just do a Styles Clash and then oh my god, 1, 2, 3, it's a pin.
That's such a stupid
ding,
opinion.
ding.
He should go to the finals of Mania and in an imaginary tournament and win the championship.
What championship? The Imaginary Championship?
All of the championships.
That's a nice save, Wago.
Thank you.
Well, we go, how do you want this to end?
AJ Styles.
With what?
Botch Styles Clash off the top rope.
You going to the same botch Styles Clash, Sean?
No, I'd be down for the spinal tap, but like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing Chris Jericho win because big fan of Chris Jericho. But either or, this is gonna be the match of the night for me. I was a big fan of both, so
Definitely has potential, especially if he turns on Spinal Tap.
Yeah, I can't wait till Styles comes out to Spinal Tap.
Peyton, is Styles winning with a clash or a new move or phenomenal forearm or what?
You already asked me. I said Walls of Jericho.
Oh, the Walls of Jericho. That's right. I'm going Styles Clash. I think that they're gonna use it here because Jericho will probably be like, "Hey, just do it anyway." You know, who does he go to report to afterward? You know. But if that doesn't happen, that's not the end of the world either. I still think this is going to be one of the top 3 matches of the night. And actually, the match I think is going to be the best match of the night. It's the next match that we're going to be talking about in part 12, the No Holds Barred Street Fight.